Like, okay, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
And the interesting thing that I'll point out about that is at no point in time does he ask himself if he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't really factor. I'd never want to do anything.
Yeah, making yourself available doesn't necessarily mean you want to make yourself available.
Right. Or helping others doesn't necessarily mean that you want to help others.
No.
Like, I'll say that. Like,
you don't want to help me?
no. Never. No, listen, like,
No, I know what you're saying.
I mean, it comes back down to like my first initial instinct, right? Like,
Yeah.
I never, like, my first initial instinct, like, is usually something negative. It's usually the wrong thing. Like, of course, like, somebody will ask me to do something and I'll be like, fuck, I don't want to do that. That's my first thought. I accept that as my first thought. I accept that that's going to be my first thought.
Right.
And then I'll move past that thought.
And it's not like that's a thought that fucking weighs on you for 2 or 3 hours.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
It's like a super, it may have early on, but as we've gained, some maturity and sobriety, we learned that that's the first thought. It doesn't last very long. Next.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next. It's important to move on from that.
Yeah.
And then, really engage in the action that I know is going to be beneficial to me and to others.
Yeah. Which, great point. You used a perfect word right there, beneficial. One of the things that I tend to do is downgrade or downplay my amount of experience that I have in this arena. I'll forget, or I'll try to convince myself that I don't have anything to offer, therefore I don't need to make myself available. And one of the things that ends up happening when I do make myself available and I act on that availability when asked, or even when the opportunity arises, because sometimes being available doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's going to ask you. It may be, a situation that happens a lot in a meeting where a person will be sharing and I'll just feel this draw to go and approach that person after the meeting, or to some nature, some extent like that. And I'll go up and because I've made myself available to share openly or listen intently, I realize that I do have some experience in the recovery arena and that I'm doing better than I thought I was prior to the moment of engaging with that other person. And so, it's very beneficial to be available. I try to be available or open to being available or willing to be available at all times.
Yeah.